All right. Welcome to Simple Healthy Life, where our goal is to have real, insightful conversations on topics that we find interesting. And today we've got Owen Leal here, who is 14 years old and a really incredible jiu-jitsu athlete. And we figured it would be really cool to bring him on and we'll talk a little bit about jiu-jitsu and a little bit about his mindset and balancing school and jujitsu and everything that encompasses. But I guess for the people who who may not know, which I would be surprised if most people don't know who watch this podcast, but what is jujitsu? What is that like?
Jiu-Jitsu is like it's a little of everything. It's wrestling, judo, it's everything, just no punching. So submissions, chokes, arm bars, uh competitions like a kids 4-minute match. You win by tapping the person out or winning by points, doing certain things like taking the back, taking someone down, or etc.
Yeah, yeah. So you're trying to get the up on the person, try to get them choked out, trying to get them to tap. Okay, cool. When did you start? So you're 14 now. How long you been training?
Probably since I was 12 or 11. I started, I wasn't doing anything at the time, and my dad saw like a video of this guy trained near us, and he was like, "Let's take you there. You need to do something. Let's try something." And I went, and I really liked it. And it just some people understand it a little more than others, and I just loved it immediately. I trained there for a little bit. I was a white belt when I was there the whole time. I think I understood it a little bit more than I'd say most. I was, saw other competitors. I did my first competition, I think a month into training, and I just saw other people there. And then a friend reached out to us, and we went and cross trained at MJJ, and it was amazing. Like the kids there you could just tell it was a whole nother caliber of jujitsu. And we went over there, we cross trained for a while, and then we made the switch over. And when I came, I think I had just got my gray white. I was a white. I think I had been training for like 4 months. I'm pretty sure. Um, Training there was awesome. We had a good like core group. It was a lot of us. I picked it up quick. Coach T and Jair helped me a ton. Like I learned so much. Like and just understanding the game, what people do different, what you know, how people fight. And Coach T especially helped me a lot with like Jiu-Jitsu IQ. And he's one of the people that it just clicks with, like talking about it and understanding it. He knows a lot about it, and um, I learned a lot from him. Especially like my main thing is just Jiu-Jitsu IQ, thinking about it on a deeper level than while I'm fighting than just simple techniques and moves. There's a lot more I think that goes into it that a lot of people don't look at.
Hmm. So yeah, so you're saying, well, so yeah, Marcelli Jiu-Jitsu. So you came over, you started to love it there and recognize that like wow, all the other kids here are like phenomenal. Which credit to Jair and Tyler who mostly run that program. And so Jiu-Jitsu IQ. So again, for those who don't really know, it's kind of like wrestling. You're doing some submission kind of grappling, and so you actually spar and you full spar. So the beauty of jujitsu is that you can kind of go 100% in sparring and walk away okay. No one's trying to. Well, hopefully, no one's trying to kill you, but you know, those people exist too, I suppose. Um, so you're doing this, and then you talk about like jujitsu IQ, which means what?
Like I think it's how you look at it, the difference between the people who find success in the sport and looking at their mannerisms, how they act, the way they do things, the way they do moves, the way they wait, and look and find openings in certain things. And I think it's about doing and trying to copy what all the champions do and then do it your way and try to do it better. The way you look at what they're looking at, how they're breathing, their mannerisms, I look at the most.
Mm. Do you spend a lot of time watching and like trying to like find like mentors, so to speak?
Yeah. Leandro's great to watch. Kalel's great to watch. Mica, Tynan, they're all BJ Penn, J-Rod, they're all just all their different styles and trying to figure out what suits you best is and making it your own is the fun part.
So you moved over to MJJ,
Yeah.
and the kids were, to your words, kind of a higher caliber.
Yeah.
Coaching was great. What about fear? Do you have any fear?
In the gym, no. It's just rolling, getting better. But like my old school was more of like a hobby school. And I like when I was there, they'd play games and like do fun obstacle and I just wasn't I wanted to do the sport. I wanted to we don't now in the competition team we're training at least 20 23 hours a week, just getting as much training as possible, working on as much as we can, doing what we can, and it's just building up and it's so fun. My closest friends I've made from just doing jiu-jitsu and competing and everything.
When did you start competing?
About a month into training, but it wasn't like serious competing. I competed at like Naga, but I always had like a love-hate relationship with competing in the beginning because like you go to grappling industries and it's just not, it doesn't feel competitive. And like the refs, like they all have their own rule set. It's not what then now Jiu-Jitsu World League, it's a lot more competitive. IBJJF, ADCCs, that's what competing really is about.
For you?
Yeah, for me personally.
And now, are you doing a super fight?
Yeah, this Friday.
Sick. So
Yeah.
by the time this podcast comes out, that super fight will have already happened.
Yeah.
But just for me, tell me what a super fight is.
So a super fight it's not like competing where it's just a bunch of mats and you go out and compete against a bracket. It's only two people on a big stage. And it's streamed on Flow Grappling. This one is streamed on Flow Grappling. It's a lot more pressure, like you're walked out to the stage. It's not just go on, compete, walk off, go get your medals, and it's a lot more like, I think it's a little like next step in competing. It's like performing, because people buy tickets and come watch, and it's cool, it's fun.
You've done one before?
Yeah.
So this will be your second?
Super fight, yeah. I never really got into the super fights. I just wanted to do big tournaments. IBJJF Pans. I have Pans this year in July in Florida. That's going to be cool. Just big competitions. Winning worlds is like the big goal.
So you have a goal,
Yeah.
and that is to win worlds.
Well, that's a goal. It's not really like my dream, though. My dream is like be one of the greats. Like when I talk about Mica, Tynan, I want Owen to be in one of those names.
Yeah, that's great. What a lofty goal. But I mean, you said you started when you were like 11 or 12 or
11 or 12 between that, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously you're very very skilled. There was this video of they walk around and they do like reels of of us rolling at the gym, and Owen's rolling with this 30-year-old brown belt female who's very skilled herself, and and he just throws this armbar on her out of nowhere, and everyone, her and the film the Erica who was recording, I was like, whoa, where did that come from? That was incredible. And you could see the look of shock on her face. And so Owen is like, you're very skilled. You're very skilled at what you do. And, I think it's a completely attainable goal, but it, obviously going to take a lot of effort. And how do you think, like, what is it that you're going to do that to bring you there? Like, you have the goal. What's the plan, so to speak?
Competing as much as I can. The people I'm training with, like, we all set each other up a lot to do big things. We go to competitions. We're one of the best teams around. The people we train with are a big part of that. And just training every day, and not just going to training and just go and train, but looking at every detail you can. Like, if you watch that armbar video back, you can watch me waiting and looking to see what I was looking at, her mannerisms, how she was leaning over, if I thought she was going to wrestle up, etc. And I waited for that. I got the elbow control. I baited her into letting go the arm because I was forcing on her lapel, and she let go, and I put my hand down and threw it up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So what is the most, I mean, to you then, what is the distinguishing trait of, like, the people who are great at jiu-jitsu, like the champions?
I've noticed they're just, the way you look at them, they're just different. Like, I don't really know what it is. They're just, the way they act and speak and do things, they're just different from everyone else. And I'm trying to be that kind of distinguished type of person.
Well, MJ talks a lot about, what it means to develop an elite mindset. And so obviously MJ has this, this relationship with athletics where you've developed the, Crave, and you've developed all these other things that are centric to getting to that, like, elite level. And you'll be so humble about it, but you were, obviously All-American wrestler, and you're like, well, that's not a big deal, but it is. I mean, that's a high level wrestling, especially wrestling, super competitive sport. So, you have the insight on that. So what do you think develops? What separates those people out from the average person who might just be a hobbyist, or who might just really like jiu-jitsu or wrestling or their sport? What makes them at that caliber? What brings them to that caliber?
So thank you for that. I appreciate it. For me, what I've noticed is the mental side. That's what the people that really set themselves apart. That's when you become elite. There's tons of people that love the sport. So it kind of, if I was going to put like a ladder or kind of a pyramid, right? There's the hobbyists that enjoy the sport or enjoy the game. Then there's the people that love the sport. And a lot of times they think that that's enough. Like, I love the sport, so I love to practice. I love to train. Once you learn to love practice, you have a shot at becoming elite. And it sounds like you're there already. I mean, you said you love to just roll, right? Just love the game. So once you learn to love practice, then can you be coachable? Can you really understand that as much as you think you know, there's so many levels above? And then there's all the extras, all the stuff that people don't do, right? All the miles you run in the off season, all the times you're lifting the weights when no one's there, all the stuff that the behind the scenes. But then there's that one next step, and that's, can you convince yourself that you are elite? Can you spend the time doing the visualization practice? Can you really walk out there every single time with confidence? And you see it's kind of cliche, I guess, but you see these guys that are champs in the UFC. None of them got there by accident. Every single one of them believed from day one that they could get there. But when we say that you believe from day one that you could get there, that doesn't mean that they don't have the same questions, the same negative self-talk that we all have. It means that they've learned that that's all it is. It's just negative self-talk. It's just a barrier. And every time you push through a barrier, become more resilient, reflect, reframe, and start again, that's when you have a shot at becoming elite. And I think that just from talking to you a little bit, I know that you're on your way. Where would you say you are on that pyramid?
Probably above obsessed and loving practice. I mean, just when I practice, I don't go just to love practice. There's days where I don't want to practice, and I don't just love practice. I'm obsessed with the sport and doing things and like having the power to do certain things and beat people, and just I'm obsessed with the sport, and I know I'm gonna someday be one of them.
Perfect.
There.
Perfect. Have you done any visualization? Has anybody talked to you about that yet?
Not really. I mean, I've always impersoned myself being a world champion and winning that and doing all I can in the sport and, just winning as much as I can and doing everything I can do, I will do.
Do you have a journal?
No. I write questions down sometimes, like about training and how I can become better at training, and winning and mindset is probably my biggest thing. I focus on my mindset a lot.
Let's talk about that. What's that mean?
The mindset, especially for me, it's you want to be, I try to be, you want to work your, I don't know how to word it. You want to make connections and be good with people, and you don't want to be cocky and annoying, but you want to be humble, but you also want to know that you can come into a room and be like, I can beat you. You don't have to say it, but having the confidence and knowing you can do those things and then doing them is, I think, where it really stands for me in my mindset.
So you're practicing, actively engaged in practicing, being confident. That's incredible. That's an amazing. You really did you just said you didn't know how to articulate it. You did a great job articulating it. So well done. There's nothing wrong with being quietly confident. There's nothing wrong with knowing in your gut that you are the best person in the room, especially when your goal is to be the best person in the planet. So you're gonna have to be the best person in the room a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So kudos to you. Now the question is, how do we turn your mindset and how do we turn the stuff that we have in our brain into the goal? How do we build out the plan?
Doing all that you can. I think Jiu-Jitsu IQ is the biggest part of it. It's the biggest part of it for me, at least. Working exactly what I feel and I know I need to work. If I'm rolling with someone and I think I'm better than them, and I'm rolling with everyone, and I'm working my trips, and I'm good at trips, but if I'm not getting my trips, I'm gonna focus down on that one by one. It might not just be trips, it could be anything. Just keep on working every bit of it till I'm better than everyone at every piece of the game.
It's a good point about how important mindset is. And I do like the thought of like going into the room and believing that you're the best, whether or not that's objectively true in that moment. I think you have to approach the role with that identity, right? If you see it doesn't even, this extends far outside of jiu-jitsu too, but if you see someone who's really great at something, in the flow state of them doing that, they truly do believe that they're the best. Right? I watched this this amazing freestyle rapper. I bring him up a number of times. Harry Mack. Have you seen Harry Mack? No. Yeah. He's this like amazing freestyle rapper, and he's been doing it. He's been obsessed with it for years and years. He has videos from like 25 years ago, like before YouTube, right? And every time he gets into this flow state where he's like freestyle rapping, he even says it. He's like, I'm the best. And and that comes off very naturally. It's so effortless. Like he honestly believes he's the best. And guess what? He probably is. And his ability to, craft craft the words and what he says and the rhythm and everything is just so phenomenal. But this extends to every area of life. You have to go in and you have to, without being cocky and still, having some humility, you have to go in and you have to tell your brain that, yeah, I'm the best. I'm the person who's gonna, win this role, or I'm gonna get the submission. And if you have even a doubt, I mean, the brain is gonna manifest that. It's gonna bring that out, right? So I think it's good for us to train as if we are, and if we don't end up winning the role, then okay, well, what went wrong in that role? Even the people who are the best at everything, they fail all the time, right? Even Gordon Ryan has lost, a number of times, although not too much, but that still happens. And so I think the approaching with that mindset of, ooh, I am the best, and I'm not going to be cocky about it. I'm not going to be, verbal about it. Quiet confidence, like you mentioned. I love that.
So I follow wrestling, follow collegiate wrestling, I follow Penn State. You familiar with Penn
Yeah,
State
yeah.
in their success recently?
Yeah.
They've won, I don't know, all of the national championships, like 4 or 5 champs every single year. And one thing that they all do, and I would offer this to you, is not only do they write down their goals, which, let's face it, I mean, we can talk about the science of writing down your goals, but they write them in a place where they see them every day, multiple times. So I'm reminded of this kid, Nico Megaludis. He was up against it. He had 3 or 4 great kids in his weight class, and on his steering wheel was written Nico Megaludis, 2011 national champ. And next to his bed on his nightstand, Nico Megaludis, 2011 national champ. And this type of consistent visualization he credits to his belief that this is who I am. This isn't who I'm becoming. This is who I am right now. So I would offer that to you. And somebody, I was talking with Sean Schubert, and he said something I had never heard before. And it's rare for someone to say something in this category that I never heard before. But he said, your frequency is what you frequently see. So if you're constantly seeing yourself successful, whether it's because you wrote it down or because you're winning every role or because you're just in the gym knowing that you are, that's how you become. That's what you become. So if you're not already writing it down, grab yourself a journal, spend some time, write down what your goal is. Write down that big goal, right? To be the great, to be one of the greats, and then work backwards from there. And it sounds like this weekend you got a pretty cool opportunity. I'm excited about this super fight.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're excited about it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I don't know. So audience, hopefully I don't get the answer I'm not looking for, but how did your last super fight go?
It was a submission grappling, and it ended in a tie because there's no points. It was just a submission, and I was on top, and I was looking for the arm, and time ran out for a while. He's on defense. He's a good wrestler. I was like, I want to wrestle this kid. I just want to beat everybody at what they're best at. Like, if I'm going against a kid and I know he's a wrestler, I want to wrestle this kid. If I know he plays good guard, I want to pass him. If he's a good passer, I want to play guard. Anything. I want to beat everybody at what they're best at. I want to be better than everybody's best.
What about off the mat? What are you into? How are your grades?
Grades are good. I have straight A's right now. I've been doing pretty good. I've had straight A's this whole year so far. I've been doing really good. Just trying to keep good grades, just focus on school school isn't really my big goal. I just need to keep grades up. It's like if something doesn't go right, you got to have a diploma in your back pocket.
Do you think that there are kids in the room right now that look up to you?
Coach T actually talks about this to me a lot, like being a good role model for a lot of the kids, the younger generation, and I think I might be for a couple of them. I've noticed a couple of them do, but I try to be the best I can for the people around me, and like when we go to big tournaments, there's we're all cheering for each other, and it's just the core group. We're all there for each other. We're all trying to get better together.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's great. I mean, it's a good point about the school too, because yeah, it's not even for really the diploma, but because you're so interested in like Jiu-Jitsu IQ, this idea of like conceptualizing Jiu-Jitsu and thinking more about like this longer term, almost like chess type game, it really does make a lot of sense to expand your learning in other areas too. Right? That helps. It helps the brain. It helps the brain be more capable of developing, these neural pathways, these structures that are are represented in the brain that are how we learn, right? And so as yeah, school might not be as interesting as jujitsu, but learning in one area does facilitate learning in other areas too. And so, keeping that brain very active, always open to learning is really important. So, yeah, consider that. But straight A's. So, I mean, what preaching to the choir here. So, all right, school's going well. What about other things? Do you have time for anything else aside from jujitsu?
Mostly I just watch jiu-jitsu matches and study them, but I like reading comics. I read comics a lot. I just, yesterday my Invincible Compendium 3 came in, so I'm going to read that. It's going to be cool. But I read comics a lot, but mainly I just do jiu-jitsu, pretty much. Just the best guy for, I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you guys do, Gordon Ryan's coach. Watching him and how he talks about it I love it. Like his Jiu-Jitsu IQ, like the way he talks about it is amazing. I love watching him in his interviews.
So you got hurt recently, didn't you? Didn't you get hurt last year?
The year before that, I had to take 6 months off, I think. I tore my PCL and ACL at Worlds.
What was that like?
So during the match, I was passing and I felt a pop and I was like, that sucks. But I kept fighting. I won the match. I just try to stay off that leg as much as possible. The adrenaline was pumping, so it didn't hurt that bad. But then when I was walking off the mat, like right after my match, it hurt so bad. And then they called me over to the medic and I couldn't compete. My leg was done. So I won my match, but I didn't get to keep competing in the bracket, so that was annoying.
What was it like having the downtime, being away from the sport that you love?
I hated it. It was annoying. I'd go to the gym every day and just watch and just try to get on the mats, but then I was just at home, just like bored out of my mind. I had nothing to do. I was like, I'm just going to focus on school, I guess, and just kept my grades up, and there wasn't much for me to do. I just watched jiu-jitsu a lot, but when I got back in the gym, I think I came back a little too early. My knee was bugging me for a while, like it'd pop all the time, and I never got surgery for it because it was my PCL, and PCL, like, you don't really need it, and I had like, I think it was like a super minor tear in my ACL, but the PCL wasn't like completely torn, so it just hurt a lot. Like, athletes sometimes, like, their PCLs will slowly just, like, disintegrate, and you don't really need them, but it just hurt because you could feel it keep pulling and pulling.
So let's switch gears a little bit. We don't have the opportunity a lot to have somebody that openly states they want to be one of the greats on our podcast. So I want you to, if you could, tell the younger generation, tell the people that are looking at this right now, like, what do you think it takes? Tell them what they should do.
I think personally, just obsession with the game and just wanting, like, having a dream and just wanting to keep going. There's going to be days you don't want to train and it's going to suck, but, like, just being obsessed with the game on another level more than anybody else. Just not just like training and being with your friends and rolling and fighting, but like the game itself. Like being obsessed with the game is I think the biggest part of it.
Okay. What else will they need to do? Let's say they're obsessed with the game and they're like, all right, I got that. What else should I do?
Training shouldn't just be going to the gym and rolling and having fun. It should be you're working specific things intentionally and like looking at it on a deeper level. Like standing, I've been doing a lot more. Like if I'm on a single and I'm been working a lot more trips, I've been trying to get like Mica Galvão's trips. I've been implicating those in my game. Just when I'm fighting, if I'm thinking about it more than just like I'm gonna try to get this kid down. It's if you can turn the hips, you can get them hopping. If you can get them hopping, you sweep every time. Just looking at timing the hops, what part of their foot are they hopping on? Are they heavy on their foot? Do they have their whole foot on the ground hopping? Are they on their toes? Are they pushing their weight back? Are they trying to focus on making sure I'm not tripping? Are they focused on getting their leg out? Are they focused on setting something else up? Are they looking at that? Can I tell if they're looking at that? How they're breathing? Are they nervous? Are they thinking I'm about to do something? Are they expecting me to trip and I'm purposely going to the back or something different? Just looking at everything on a way deeper level in your training, I think is the biggest part.
What about when you're not training?
When you're not training, obsession with it. I'm watching it all the time. I'm just in bed watching Mica Galvão, standout, bruh, fights as much as I can. Just the best, they don't tend to have much of a entertainment outside of the sport. Like the sport is their life. When you're around it so much, you're bound to be the best.
What about eating and these other like surrounded kind of like recovery?
Eating, I'm terrible with. I'm picky, but I try to eat good, but I'm picky. I don't eat a ton of snacks. Like I'm younger, so it doesn't affect me as much, but like I've been trying to eat more like meats and as much as I can, but I'm a picky eater. I'm terrible.
That can be worked on. But there's this famous, I don't know so famous, but popular quote in sports nutrition, and it says, "Good nutrition can make a good athlete great, and poor nutrition can make a great athlete good." And so it really does impact your ability to focus. It impacts your ability to learn heavily. It impacts your ability to perform. And so I would also argue that the folks who are the best and in any athletic pursuit do put some time into recovery and making sure that they're nourished and going into the match with an appropriate amount of fuel. And that doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be at least adequate enough. And so especially when it comes to like you're talking about like diving in the deep end, essentially, like what's the best way to learn how to swim? Well, I guess throw yourself in a pool and figure it out, right? And you seem to be doing that with jiu-jitsu. Like, what's the best way to be the best, or what's the pathway to being great? Well, do everything jiu-jitsu. Always watch jiu-jitsu. Always learn jiu-jitsu. Always be rolling. Always be competing. Always be coming and doing challenging things, such as talking about it on a podcast or whatever. Always be doing the hard thing surrounding jiu-jitsu. But I would also argue that it makes it a lot easier if you have the floaties in the deep end too. And so that's kind of like what MJ is saying about like, okay, the journaling is a mental recovery aspect almost, or the mental side of how you get to where you want to be. And then I'm saying, well, the eating is also how you support that. And then sleep is another area, and whatever, supplementation. There's all these other areas that go into that. Our labs, sauna. No. So yeah. So you're a little picky. Like you're kind of averse to certain foods.
Yeah. I've just always been a picky eater. Like I don't like a lot of foods, but seafood, I can't do any seafood. Like I don't like a lot of stuff.
Like so what do you typically eat for dinner?
Like burgers most of the time. Chicken parm is my favorite. Chicken parm is like my biggest thing, and burgers is like burgers and green beans and chicken parm and green beans.
What about breakfast?
Breakfast, I don't. I know it's necessary, but school, I'm up early and I'm just running to school. Some on the weekends, I'll have like eggs most of the time, eggs in a bolo. That's it for breakfast. I'll have like, yeah, just eggs.
We got to talk about this. Yeah, we got to figure this out.
Some stuff that I think we can offer to you as experts on some of this stuff that maybe we can add to your game.
Yeah, I was thinking about that actually.
Like I think if you start to follow these great ones and follow them off the mat, and you said earlier that you weren't really sure, right? They're just different. I would argue maybe you could start to see what their off the mat training looks like, what their nutrition looks like, what their morning routine looks like.
I try to watch that a lot. Tyne and Dalbra is the biggest one for that I watch because it's all public. I like to watch that a lot.
What's that? Tell us about that.
He's very strict with his diet and he does a lot of recovery. I don't know the name of it, but he goes to some place and they do a lot of recovery treatment for him, a lot. But you also have to have a lot of time and money. I'm sure that's expensive, but he's doing it all day, every day. Like that is his job, just training.
Yeah, no, it's nice. Not everybody out there, but me and Ryan and you, I think all three of us could say if we could just train, we would probably choose to just train. We could just wake up and focus on just our goals.
Yep.
That's what we would choose to do. Sounds like you have an opportunity, though.
I do, yeah.
Sounds like you're working on it.
I am. I'm trying to work on it.
And it sounds like you're ahead of most already. It's a good place to be.
I try to be, yeah.
Nice. And I know from just a little bit that I've seen you in the room, I see the other kids looking up to you. So kudos to you for carrying yourself that way.
Thank you.
That's important.
One thing too I'd offer is that there's been plenty of studies on how we view ourselves. And MJ and I have talked a little bit about this, but there are certain things that we say to ourselves that are more like growth mindset oriented. So we're not fixed in our beliefs, but we're more like open to expanding our skill set in all areas, such as, confidence is not something, this confidence, especially in competition, you're not just born with. You don't just go day one and you're like, well, yeah, I'm a confident person and you do fine, right? It's something that you actually have to grow in. It's a skill, right? Just like riding a bike, you get better at riding a bike, you get better at confidence in competing. But one of the best things that one can say to themselves is, I'm the person who can put in the work, right? And targeting that effort-based mindset. So you really may not be, although we just talked about it, you may not be the best person in the room, and especially when you're at Jair's place and you're surrounded by these really amazing adults too. You're kind of not the best person in the room, so to speak. But you could be the hardest working person in the room by far. And then given enough years and given enough of that mindset, I work the hardest. I work harder than anyone. You will be the best, and to trust that. There's some humility in knowing off the mat that maybe you're not the best, but you will see yourself as being the best in X number of years. But if you know that, well, I go in every day and I work harder than anyone, and I'll prove that to myself, and I'll off the mat, I'm going to eat right, and I'm going to journal, and I'm going to sleep well, and I'm going to learn as much as I can. That's all stuff that you can control. You can't necessarily control whether you go and you pop your knee. It's like you can't really control that outcome, but you can always control how much effort you put into it. And so a lot of research has suggested that that's probably the thing that should be tackled the most for someone who's looking to develop that more elite mindset. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think we all do it. We all have these areas or blind spots where we think that's just who I am, or that's the way I am, but when you specifically can say to us, hey, I work on my mindset, and now what we're offering back to you is to say, let's work on the mindset that is, I know I'm the hardest worker in the room. I know that I put in the hours. Are you familiar with Kobe Bryant?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I know.
kind of dating a little bit,
Isn't that
but
weird?
yeah, it is weird.
But that's what he said. That was his mindset. I know that I'm up at 4 a.m. every day putting in the work. I know I've done all of the work to get me to here. And it wasn't just I know I'm the best. I know that I mean, he was the best in my opinion, but he had the Mamba mentality. He made that famous. And that was that it was just simply I outwork everybody every single day. So I know that sounds like you're already on your way on that path because you're obsessed. And I love it.
Yeah.
It's nice. And I think that you do things that are hard, like coming here and talking to us, putting yourself out of your comfort zone. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Good work.
Thank you.
Anything else? Any other message you want to share to the powers, the audience, the people?
Just keep training. Just work on it more and more and more as much as you can, I guess. Just surround yourself in it.
I love that. One thing I would close this with is if they didn't pick up on that, I don't know, I forget which one of these I'm supposed to look at, but one thing that he said that stuck home with me, and for the rest of the people out there that are obsessed already or training, work on your weaknesses. And that's something that Owen said today. He does intentionally. I think that we can all, in every aspect of our life, whether we're talking about being a CEO or an entrepreneur, or specifically for athletics, like understand, recognize, and then work on them. I think that's a huge piece that a lot of people choose not to do. And I know for me, I would absolutely prefer just to stand and wrestle. But you gotta work on your weaknesses. So well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, great. Do you want to shout out any sponsors?
2 Fight Bros, my biggest sponsor. They're awesome. I love them. They're great. They support me forever. They've been with me for a while.
Nice. Yeah. Thanks, 2 Fight Brothers.
Let's go. Let's go. Well, good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
I'm excited. We'll when we post it, we'll post the results of your fight. So
Sounds good.
let's make sure that that's a positive.
It will be.
Is it submission only again?
No. This
Okay.
one's points.
All right. Let's go.
Great. Awesome. Well, if you want to hear more, please like us, follow us, interact all those ways on Spotify, and we will catch you next time.